Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. What does Capricorn need to know at this time? Supportive guidance for Capricorn. Supportive guidance for Capricorn. Capricorn, thinking as usual, Rick. So this is about moving forward, straightforward, like, and the Chariot. And we'll show you the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the Shadow, the 7 of Wands, the 3 of Swords. The only thing that's stopping the Capricorn from having what the Capricorn wants is themselves. The Capricorn's getting in their own way as usual. Because they're the planner, right? They have, you know, like they're the CEO. They have the plan. They have it all worked out, and this is the way it is, and da da da. But it's just like, no, Capricorn, like that's the way it was in the past. You don't need to put in as much energy as you did before. Now it's like you got to let other people take the lead. Right? And the reason why you don't let other people take the lead, because it's like if you let other people take control, then if they disappoint you, then you're not going to have that. Like it's basically, you know, when you're like being supported and you're being supported, and like I'm envisioning like just dropping something, like dropping the ball. You don't want to get your caught with your pants down. You don't want somebody to drop the ball. So that's one of the reasons why Capricorn has a hard time letting other people take over, because they're like, there's the distrust that they're going to be able to do it in the way that the Capricorn expects, because the Capricorn has expectations. Like they're very, you know, so associated to Saturn, which is the planet of is karma and their structure and learning lessons and climbing that mountain. And so it's like if Capricorn lets go of control and they lean on somebody and that person pulls away, then they're going to fall. So that's what happens. And then this has been going on. Like this is Capricorn's greatest lesson, I think, is to just allow the receptivity. So now it's like, okay, you know what? You've been there time and time and time and time and time again. Like how many times do you have to learn the lesson? How many times do you have to think about what happened in the past? How many times do you have to try to, you know, be strategic, try to figure out, you know, how's this going to happen? How many times? Because you never figured it out in the past. So how do you think you're going to be able to figure it out in the present? Every single time you had to in the past, like you constantly had to surrender. It was a never-ending surrendering process. No matter how hard you tried to hold on, you always ended up at the same spot. That didn't make really much sense, but it kind of did and it kind of didn't. But once the Capricorn can let go and become receptive and be that divine feminine, and they can start to trust, then they're gonna receive communication. They're gonna receive an offering, and it's gonna be very, very passionate. So we have the Knight or the King of Wands and the King of Cups. So this person is the pursuer. They're passionate and creative and like they're sexy and like. And then the King of Cups is like the romantic. They're very loving and nurturing and kind and thoughtful and sensitive. And so that's like a really nice combination of energy that the feminine or the Capricorn is going to be given if they are able to accept it. So the Capricorn has to take some time to get themselves grounded. So this is about, okay, like, yes, you try to plan it, but you can only plan, you're only in control of you. So you're going to control your emotional response. Like, you're going to control, your response. So basically the response to your thoughts. So you're thinking, what are you thinking? And then how is it making you feel? So you can sit down and write that out, okay? And then also setting goals. Start to set some goals for yourself. And being more patient, right? And I know Capricorn, like, you guys are already pretty patient as is. But like, once you start to trust, it won't even feel like you're having to be patient, because you're just going to be enjoying the process. The only time you have to really feel impatient is the feeling of impatience happens when you're not enjoying the process. So for instance, like, I used to work as a healthcare aide, and I love working with elderly. And so I used to have to walk them from the dining room back to their bedroom. And I love walking with them. It's very enjoyable, but not when I'm busy, not when I have another task, or I have something else to take care of, right? So it's like, basically, Spirit is giving you enough time that you need to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. You don't need to micromanage, and you don't have to try to convince this person to be in a relationship. You don't need to pursue them. All you need to do is just be you. Be that divine feminine, that person who's just very secure and welcoming and loving and nurturing. And then the process happens naturally. And when it does, it's going to be like, oh my God, like, it's incredible, the feeling that you have when you're connected. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards. So anything in the commitment. Oh yeah, look at that. So here, this is commitment. The High Priest, the King of Pentacles, and then your wish. So satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment. And it's more loving yourself, because there's still this, like, when I'm in a relationship, it's not a lot, just a tinge. It's just a tinge of that thought, where in the past it was like the only way that you ever really felt comfortable is like in a relationship. And now it's like just a tiny little bit, because it's like, times are tough. We're tired. We don't have as much. It's not the way it was in the past. The energy's changed. So that's why it's sort of like, if you could just not be like thinking that, because the thing is by you thinking that when your vibration is saying it hasn't happened, and that's not a good feeling. Like, it feels like shit when you think that you're like laying in bed and you're all alone and you're missing, you're wishing that you're cuddled and you're just feeling lonely. But if you can get into the space of like, it already is, I'm already in a relationship, I feel so comfortable and secure, and I'm taken care of, like, all my needs have been met, even if things are, even if you're struggling financially, or you're having difficulties with your family members, like, you're still being taken care of. But it begins with the mind. Right here, flipped it, boom, just like that. The mind, that's what's effing us up. receptivity. So once you can get that together, then it'll happen. You'll receive an offer. You'll have success. But you're in the battle still. So this is the battle. And then this is like after the battle. So the battle is in the brain. And then the manifestation. So here's the Eight of Cups. And you can see here, each cup represents the sadness, the lonely, the rejection, right? So all of this is all the sadness that you've experienced. And it's just like walking away from it. Because the only way that it exists is if you keep activating it. You keep thinking, oh, remember when they did this, or remember when this happened, remember. But your only reason why you're remembering is because you keep thinking about it. So how do you stop thinking about it? You start envisioning a new dream. This is cool how this all came out like this. This is freaking awesome, man. This is super cool. If you're interested in a reading, girl, they're $15 USD. My readings are worth $15, more than $15, so. Okay. 10, 10, 10. So how do we get out of this? Purpose. So you came here to make a difference. I'll give you a free yes or no question. After I'm done this. Okay? So to me, the 10 of Cups is like happiness, joy, bliss, togetherness. It's like going to a music festival, or like having, a family reunion, or like getting together with all your friends, like your best friends, and just having fun. So this is basically, so what happens is like you eventually you make the decision. You're like, okay, I can't carry this weight anymore. I have to lay it to rest. I have to drop it. Just drop it. And you could even say that, like, if you find yourself kind of like going off into this like negative thinking, you can just say, drop it. Just to snap yourself out of it. Or you can say, stop. And then once you say stop, then you basically replace the image with another image. So you want to impress the image. So let's say like these are completely different images. That's a long, arduous journey. Looks exhausting. It is exhausting. And then it's like, but guess what? This is paying off. It already is. We're living in the end. This is the other trick. You got to live in the end. You're already in the relationship. So you got to play pretend. And so I have a hard time doing that sometimes, because it's like the current reality is so different than what I want it to be. So like playing pretend, like, trying to think of like having what you want. It's not, especially when it comes to relationships, because I don't even know what it's like to be in, like, I know what it feels like, but I don't know what it feels like, like to actually be in a commitment. The commitment of my dream relationship. I don't know what that's like. I've never been in that before with another person. The reason why is because I didn't think that I deserved it. Who would want to be with me? You know, who would want to be me with my, you know, my baby tummy, or, you know, my saggy boobs, or, you know, like we all have insecurities, or, you know, my moodiness. Why? No one would want to be with me. I'm not good enough. But that's part of the lesson, overcoming that, because you are good enough. You're gorgeous. You're magnificent, amazing piece of art. And this person thinks that you are, but you got to let them come to you. You have to let them pursue. Letting yourself be pursued. See, this was the old way. You know, here, and they could barely even give you anything, and it was just like, but you would just take it because that's all you felt that you were worth. So my suggestion, yeah, like, keep busy.